Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking a look at the pricing optimization project. I'm Justin Rediger, Data Product Manager at DMSi, and I'm excited to convince you today that you should be working on solving what we think is one of the most interesting problems of our industry, pricing optimization. Over the next few minutes, I want to show you why this problem matters, what you'd actually be building, and why we think it's a genuinely fun, interesting, and high-impact project to spend your senior year working on. I'm also going to try to convince you that the skills you'll learn and experience you'll gain will be a tremendously valuable piece of your work portfolio as you look to advance your career after college. Now, let's get into it.
Just to put a face to a voice, I'm Justin Rediger. I'm the Data Products Manager at DMSi. I'll be your primary point of contact for this project.
DMSi is the sponsor of this project, and I'm going to first tell you a little bit about DMSi and why we're an awesome sponsor company. Then I'll tell you about the problem and the technology you'll use to solve it, and what you could expect from us as a partner. DMSi is headquartered here in Nebraska, and this is a photo of our office, but we have a global footprint. DMSi was founded here in Omaha and has been privately held the entire time, and that might not seem important, but it is. We invest locally and are dedicated to growing the tech talent here in Nebraska.
DMSi is privately held, family owned, which means we actually care about our people and our customers. We're not a private equity backed company that is 100% focused on the bottom line. No offense to any P-backed firms out there, but I've personally worked in both, and there's a felt difference.
So some details about what DMSi actually does. We build ERP software, that's Enterprise Resource Planning, which is basically the operation system for building material distributors. So think lumberyards, wholesalers, and dealers. Our software spans the full building materials supply chain, going from the forest to the job site. We're not a huge company compared to Silicon Valley tech giants, but we have a few hundred employees, and our software touches over $60 billion worth of building materials a year. That means our ERPs, and that's plural, are responsible for a very large chunk of all the roofing, siding, and lumber used to build homes across the United States. And we've also sponsored a senior design team for the last 9 years, so we know how to support a team well. One last slide to brag on DMSi, and then we'll get to the project details. DMSi's core values mirror the hard work ethic, humble, and down-to-earth practicality of our customers, who are faced with the logistical realities of having to move thousands of pounds of building materials from remote warehouses to muddy job sites. To serve them well, we hire smart people that care deeply about their customers, work together as a team, and are focused on getting things done. If that resonates with you at all, lean in. First, why pricing is such a hard problem and such a big opportunity.
Here's the economics underneath pricing and demand. If you've taken a business course, you've probably seen this chart. This is a hypothetical demand curve. The higher the price, the fewer the buyers. The lower the price, the more buyers. If you set one flat price for everyone, you leave money on the table twice. The area above your price on the x-axis, or the green dot, represents demand from customers who would happily have paid more for your product, but you charged them less. The area below your price, the red dot, are the customers you lost entirely because your single price was too high for them, but you could have still made money selling to them at a lower price. Differentiated pricing by customers fills in those gaps, pricing each customer item combination closer to its real value. That's the whole idea behind what comes next.
Here's the problem in plain terms. A distributor is pricing thousands of products across hundreds or thousands of customers. That adds up to millions of individual pricing decisions every year. No human, no matter how experienced, gets all those right. The usual fallback is a flat markup or gut feel, which is easy to use but means profit margins quietly fall one transaction at a time. The opportunity is to price every single customer item pairing based off what it's actually worth to the customer. And because of its complexity, is fundamentally a data engineering problem. This is exactly why this is a great fit for a senior design team.
Part 2. Why pricing is such an important problem to solve.
Here's a framing that stuck with me. Distributors price a product, but they sell a service. A customer buying drywall isn't just buying a sheet of drywall. They're buying delivery, no house returns, sometimes estimating. All that keeps their job sites running. And technically, it's all free. Here's an example from your own life. You'd need to buy a pair of shoes. You could walk down to the local shoe store. You could order them on Amazon, maybe Zappos. They're all offering different packages of services. and the price is slightly different on each. So you as the customer get to decide if you'd rather pay a little bit more to be able to try them on and get them today, or if you're willing to wait a couple days and just have them delivered. All that goes into pricing optimization.
Let's try to bring this home with a real life scenario. You're a branch manager, the economy is tightening, and you have to improve the bottom line. You have four levers: grow sales, cut operating expenses, which is never fun, reduce your cost of goods sold, maybe by negotiating better pricing, or you raise your prices. Which one has the biggest impact on the bottom line? As you can probably guess, it's raising pricing. And that's what makes pricing so complex. You can't just raise it 1% across the board, all products, all customers, but maybe you can raise it for some customers and not for others, and maybe some products and not others. Maybe you have to go down in price on some products. Hopefully, whatever you're doing it with a rationale and you're doing it smartly. And hopefully that's backed by logic and data. And that's where machine learning and AI come into play. So how can a distributor make better pricing decisions? How do they know what each customer is willing to pay? Well, luckily someone created a conceptual model that helps get closer to the right answer. I won't go too in the weeds here, as you'll get the full details if you join the project. But at a high level, the model is looking at 5 factors with lots of data points and calculations that influence each one. Customer stratification, or the cost to serve a customer, item stratification, customer item visibility, you get the idea. All of this goes into pricing optimization. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of data points behind each one. Now, if building out that model and willingness to pay doesn't sound attractive to you, you're in luck. DMSi already has the model. But here's the gap we need you to solve. The model works, but it's not easy to use. Remember those hundreds of pricing decisions a day? If the model isn't fast and it isn't baked into the user's workflow, it's ignored. What you'd be building is the platform version of our model, a live database-driven pricing recommendation engine running on real-time ERP data, generating thousands of transactions a day. You'd be creating dashboards that distill those insights and put them into plain terms business owners will use. And you'd build a real-time pricing agent delivering insight right at the point of sale. This would be used across all our product interfaces. Okay, now the fun part, the actual build. We think of this build in 3 layers. Number 1, a pricing engine, where the model's logic becomes tables and views in Postgres. This is the brain of the product and where you'll get data engineering experience optimizing the data architecture. We promise you'll be dreaming in SQL by the end of the year. And a quick aside, if you have a data science interest and the model's logic is interesting to you, we're very open to creative ideas on how to improve it. The model isn't rigid, and there are a variety of ways to enhance it. Also, it's never been easier to ingest publicly available data like weather patterns, interest rates, tariffs, etc. that could help explain external forces impacting historical prices and make recommendations better in the future. Okay, back to the build. Part 2, interactive dashboards, helping business owners digest the insights their data is telling them. Not only is this focusing on the end user's needs, but it's also how to architect data and write queries to make dashboards load quickly. And number 3, an AI agent skill that exposes the model as a natural language interface. If you've heard of a semantic layer before, that's what you'd be designing and building here. This means a rep can ask a pricing question on a sales call and get a real-time explainable answer back before they finish their sentence. The unspoken part of this build is that you'll have to learn how these pieces all fit together, meaning you're getting your hands dirty in system design as well. And in the age of AI, this will be an incredibly valuable learning aspect of this project. And if you finish early, there are stretch goals around measuring pricing optimization's impact on their business and an AI-driven tuning assistant to help a customer tailor the model to their business needs. Now, if you're still on the fence after hearing about the build, let me pull you over to our side so you can sign up for this project. To do that, I want to zoom out for a second because the impact here goes beyond a cool technical project. For DMSi, this is a strategic move. Think for a second about how AI is reshaping enterprise software. If you listen to what some of the leading CEOs and thinkers in the space are saying about ERP strategy, the general consensus is the companies that win are the ones who turn their operational data into trusted, explainable intelligence. DMSi has a ton of data, but data is no longer the moat. What is durable is data leveraged by AI. And the work operationalizing data for AI workflows is exactly what you'll get to do in this project. Let me put it a little more plainly. DMSi considers pricing optimization as the first wedge into that future. The scoring and reasoning you build here becomes the foundation for demand forecasting, purchasing insight, and more down the road. This project has the potential to make a real impact for DMSi, which means an impact in the building materials industry. That is the kind of project you want to be involved with early in your career. So what do you actually get out of this? On the experience side, production relevant work on data behind $60 billion in real transactions. A genuine full stack build spanning database engineering, data modeling, dashboard design, and applied AI. And a portfolio piece that proves you can ship. On the support side, we're handing you the validated model, the agility schema, and sample data on day one. You'll have a dedicated team of DMSi experts, a recurring weekly working meeting, and DMSi's 9 years of experience sponsoring senior design teams, so we know how to be a good partner to you all year. So pick us. We'd love to build with you, and we'll place the team alongside you that genuinely wants to support you all year. I'm Justin Rediger, Data Product Manager at DMSi. Please reach out anytime or check out dmsi.com to learn more about us. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see your name next to this project on Selection Day.